Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh my God! KO in midair!
Hey, good morning guys, and today we're back with a game in the Vanguard once again. I know this tank's been on the channel fairly decent amount lately, but this one's it's well worth it. As you can see, we're on Paris, or Ravage capital, and we're continuing with Cryptix. He's on a Chrysler, which is a lot better tank for this map. Fortunately, we're not top tier, so it's a little debatable, but yeah. Tier 9 game, and we're gonna go to the only place you can kind of be effective in a light tank on this map, and that's the field, and that's still kind of This map is easily one of my top 3 least favorite maps, especially in light tanks. It's just horrible for them. I'll just be straight up honest. Yeah, it's a bunch of corridors. It's very, very, very difficult to have a good game, but here we are. So that must mean we're gonna have a good game. No, actually, I doubt it already and get one shot. Next 15 minutes is just me watching somebody else play. No, but it's a fairly standard position. We have some gun depression, so we can kind of work this ridgeline a little bit. We don't have a ton. I don't actually know what gun depression is on this tank, but it's enough to work this area. We actually spot the Artie here, which is nice. We said to be careful because their team sends a few amount of tanks out here as well, but we basically sent our entire team out here, so we should win this. We should win it quickly if we want a chance of winning this game. Otherwise, we're just going to get encircled. Probably the key to that is taking out this Conqueror right here. The Conqueror's in a really strong haul down spot, and the Conqueror's pretty much the best tier 9 tank in the game. So taking that thing out of that position would be very helpful for us to push forward, and that's what I'm kind of looking at doing right now. Mine is just spotting. Try to poke up for some reason. Try to snapshot. It's very unlikely it's going to hit, but Cryptix is able to take him out. Now we have garnered the attention of Turtle, who wants to derp us and YOLO us. So we noticed that. We noticed the blood in the water kind of scent, or the thirst, but he gets tracked. And our friend in the SU-122-54, I believe, is able to take out the Turtle, basically tracking him for Cryptix. And now we have another Conqueror, and I'm gonna go in on this one so that we can hopefully, we can't clip him out, but we can put him down to at least a one shot hopefully, using the ridgelines as cover. I wanted to talk about something else today, but this vid doesn't really do it justice, just because of the map type. So hopefully I can get another game where I can kind of more highlight what I wanted to talk about. It's more of an idea of being aware of tanks that actually haven't been spotted, if that makes sense, and understanding how to make decisions and map movements based off where tanks normally sit. It's pretty key to improving your gameplay. A lot of time I talk about, like, okay, I see where this tank is on the map. Well, what about the tanks that aren't spotted? How do you know that they're possibly going to be there or stuff like that? It's just a lot of, I guess, prior map knowledge. And again, I'd rather talk about that in a game where it actually applies. This one's more, you know, it's not a wide open map, it's corridors, so it's pretty obvious. T95, pretty big threat. I know Cryptix is gone. He's just pushing forward. We were able to get one shot in the zone where he backs off and we bounce off. Again, we're losing this game pretty heavily right now, but it looks like we're able to get into their behind them. So hopefully we can get some rear shots into these guys. Maybe bring this game back a little bit. But here we have to pick up a spot on a 5120. But it appears he's AFK. So rather than waste my time on that, I'm just going to keep going, especially when I only do like 660 alpha every 30 seconds. So I would basically just be wasting my time worrying about him. So rather than waste my time, which is very precious because we're being capped out, and rather than having to rush around and try to have no plan, I'm just going to leave him for later, and hopefully we can go deal with this Panther 88 who's on the cap. Again, it's very unlikely we're going to be able to kill this guy, So we're just going to try to dump our clip into him. And we're going to put one shot in right here. And he saw something right there. And, oh, man, look at that. That's helpful. And we take his head off. And that Panther's going to come in handy later as well. But I'll get into that when we get there. Again, this game's only 5 minutes in, and it's already... a lot of tanks are dead. We put our last shot into the tortoise there. It's a big issue. Right now, Scriptix is having a wonderful time with the T95 still. I was actually amazed he was still alive. He's talking about this the entire time. That his repair crew in that T95 is ridiculous. He's already used 2 repair kits, but now he just keeps repairing. And unfortunately, finally takes him out. But now we're going to go in on him, try our luck, and put one shot into the T95. I put a second, but we low roll. And that'd be a little risky, but he's up on a platform, so little tank, we can go beneath him. And we're able to take him out as well. And finish him off, which is key to get that heavily armored TD and a corridor type map off the board. And now it's 1v2 on paper, but we know that 5120 is AFK. And we had 9 minutes left versus Tortoise, which on paper we can clip out. He's around 580 health. So he is killable for us, very killable. But on this type of map, it makes it more difficult to get like around his side because, well, there's lots of corridors, very tight spaces, and I could very easily find myself getting 1 or 2 shot because of the tight confines of the map I'm dealing with. I can't just flank around him like on proc or something like that. It's just not possible. Or it's not very unlikely I catch him in a spot like that. So in reality, I have to play this a lot more carefully than I probably normally would. Pick up the spot. I don't know, that was kind of just a waste of a shot that was never going to hit, never going to pen. It's really just a waste of resources. I know I need these APCR rounds because penning the Tortoise from the front, otherwise it's going to be pretty much impossible. And I feel like at this point in the game, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to probably shoot the Cupola. And even the side with the 170 pen AP rounds is pretty sketchy. So here we're backing up, seeing where he's at. He's actually moved now, which is kind of surprising. I guess he thought I was going to just chill back on the 0 line, but that's not the case. Now, the reason I'm not going and killing the 5120 right now, it could be made an argument I should, because you could come back and make this game way harder than it is right now. It's still a very difficult game, but my basic reasoning for that is I don't want to give away my position, and basically I would have to sit there, like I said, to kill 1700 alpha, a 1750 health tank. I had to be there at least over 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, clipping that guy, and that would easily probably give the Tortoise probably enough time to get there. Which again, I don't want to give him an idea of where I'm at. My biggest advantage right now is being my mobility and even my camo, which on this map is kind of surprising. But the corridors are somewhat long enough, at least these sight lines where he's at, to where I can spot him, but he can't quite see me until I actually fire. So I'm also being very cautious here not to get spotted by the 5120 who's AFK back there. I know right where he's at, so I want to make sure I don't get spotted by him. Again, just that knowledge of him knowing where I'm coming from make it a lot easier for the Tortoise to win the game. But now the Tortoise has gone into the cap circle, and we are on limited time here because, again, I said we only have the amount of time it's going to take us to kill the 5120 with our clips. It's probably going to be about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's put it 3 minutes because we're going to have time to get over there as well. So in the next 3 minutes or less, we have to find a way to kill this Tortoise, realistically, if we want to win this game. So we know he's on the cap, we know he's in the open now, and I figure my best kind of approach would be from this left side. I think that's the longest sight lines. And also just trying to be a little unpredictable, though you could argue that the amount of time that's passed since you last seen me is kind of predicted. that I'm going to come from a different spot. So, depending on. And right now we're just looking for a shot into the cupola with our APCR rounds. We still have, like I said, 5 left, so realistically we could still pen him. Though we are kind of aiming up at it, which is kind of an issue. And even at different angles. It's only 215 pen. And right now we're kind of whiffing. We only have 10 seconds left, and you see that one bounces. And we are down to 1 shot. Really, realistically there, I was going for the track, but luckily that one pens. I was actually just going to go for the track so that I could get the reset, but I couldn't find it in time. So we just took our chances with that last shot on the cupola, and luckily 3rd time's the charm, and it goes in. And now we're left with 2 APCR rounds. I'm pretty sure we could still clip him with these. But again, from this spot, it's very difficult. Again, we're shooting up at it, and 215 pen is still an issue, especially if that cupola is not straight on. And I guess he's having issues shooting at me there as well, just because I think I'm not in his gun sight. Since the Tortoise's gun is down the center, I'm shooting on the very far right of his tank from his perspective, so maybe I can't actually be seen, or you can't get a line of sight yet. But now here's the tricky part. We only have AP left. Beardno's been having a difficult time trying to pen that with APCR. So 170 AP pen at this point, not likely to go through. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to have to try to flank this guy. So I'm going to have to try to get as much of a running start as I can. Hopefully doing some dodging and weaving in between, not running into corpses. And try to get in there as quickly as possible. So realistically, I can get his flank. And at this point, I kind of realized, oh shit, that Panther, he's using the Panther Rick as a cover, but that's actually a huge advantage for us because our speed is so much better than him, and we're able to take him out. So that Panther kill earlier coming in quite handy for us there at the end of the game. If I hadn't realized that earlier, I probably would have went in, possibly way before, and saved some great time. But you see, like I said, we're able to leave just exactly 3 minutes on the board. I totally didn't realize that during the video, but you know, it's a pretty good estimate. Leaves us with exactly 3 minutes, which gives us about 30 seconds, 20 seconds to get over here, and then hopefully to unload a bunch of clips into this guy. Again, you could make another argument that I should just cap. Because this guy comes back, that's going to be really awkward. I could just side hug him and I'd still be maybe alright, but it would make things a lot more stressful. But I'm going to take my chances at this point because I'm a little greedy. So we're going to take our chances that he does not come back, and even if he does by this point, yeah, I feel like we've basically won. I'm trying to get a fire here to shoot the engine, but unlucky. Just that so we don't have to sit here forever and ever and ever. But a nice little reward at the end of the game. Always nice to farm a little extra HP at the end. Still, without this guy, it would have been about a 4,300 damage game or so. Can't quite see the numbers, but for this map, that's very, very, very good. Extremely good. Considering, especially this tank, it's not really the biggest damage dealer with only 660 alpha per clip. So, but we were able to finish off the AFK tank. Oof, that was hard work. And finish the game out with just shy of 5,600 damage, 4 kills, and a little bit of assisted as well. So, yep, we end up with nearly 300k silver because I think we had a silver boost on, and we're able to carry that game with a 2200 base. Result 100. Full base defense as well, which is always nice. And yeah, a real fun game to play. And yeah, I will catch you all next time. And until then, see ya.